Baseball's postseason is built for legends, impossible comebacks, curse-breaking championships, and moments so unreal you almost forget to breathe.
Set by Gossage, a high drive hit deep to right field. It is gone!
Today, we're counting down the 10 most insane playoff moments in MLB history. It's Game 5 in Toronto, a series tied at 2 games apiece. Rogers Center is packed, and the tension is almost unbearable. In the top of the 7th, a chaotic play at the plate, a bad throw back to the pitcher, allowed Texas to score.
Russell Hart's thinking the same thing. Look at this.
The stadium goes from electric to hostile in seconds. Bottom of the inning, Jose Bautista steps in with 2 on and the weight of the moment on his shoulders. He locks in, sees a pitch he likes, and unloads. The ball rockets into the left field seats. For a split second, everyone freezes. Then the noise hits like a tidal wave. Bautista stares it down and flips his bat in the most iconic, unapologetic gesture baseball has ever seen. Toronto feeds off that moment, rides the energy to the win, and books their ticket to the ALCS. It was pure swagger in front of a roaring home crowd. But our next moment was pure shock. The Nationals' 2019 magical run started in Washington, in the NL wildcard game against the Milwaukee Brewers. Down 3-1 in the 8th, the Nats load the bases for 20-year-old Juan Soto against Josh Hader. He ropes a single to right, the ball skips past the fielder, and all 3 runners score. Just like that, Washington erases the deficit and punches their ticket to the division series. Then comes Dodger Stadium, Game 5. Everyone expects Los Angeles to advance, but in the 8th, against Dodgers legend Clayton Kershaw, Anthony Rendon launches one into the seats. Juan Soto follows with a bomb of his own. Just like that, the Nationals erased another 2-run deficit. This time on the road, against the 106-win Dodgers. Then, in the 10th, Howie Kendrick hits a grand slam to dead center. The sound from the Nats dugout is deafening.
Taylor closing on it, dives, and he caught it! A dive!
It was the birth of a Cinderella run, one that would carry them all the way to another spot on this list. October baseball in 2020 didn't sound like October baseball. No roar of the crowd, no packed stadiums. But Randy Arozarena didn't need fans to turn the postseason into a spectacle. The rookie sensation hit 10 home runs, more than any player in a single postseason, and collected 29 hits, another record. He powered Tampa Bay through the ALCS, blasting 4 homers against Houston, including the Game 7 dagger that punched their ticket to the World Series. Every time he stepped in the box, it felt like something was about to happen. And usually it did. But if Arozarena's run was the stuff of legends, the team that owned 2019 proved that legends can win it all too. No team had ever lost the first 3 games at home and still won the World Series. The Nationals were about to become the first. Game 7, Houston leads 2-0 in the 7th. Anthony Rendon steps in and hammers one over the left field wall, cutting the deficit to 1. Moments later, Howie Kendrick slices a ball the opposite way. It hooks down the right field line and clanks off the foul pole for a 2-run homer. The sound of the ball hitting metal is like a bell signaling the Astros' collapse. The Nationals keep adding on, and minutes later, they're celebrating the first championship in franchise history. A run built on road wins, clutch hitting, and an unshakable belief that they could beat anybody. Roy Halladay had been one of the game's best pitchers for over a decade, but until 2010, he had never thrown a single pitch in the postseason. That all changed in Game 1 against Cincinnati. From the very first inning, Halladay's control was surgical. The Reds couldn't touch him, literally. By the final out, the scoreboard told the story. No runs, no hits, 1 walk. Only the second no-hitter in postseason history. Halladay didn't just win the game. He made October history in his very first try. And while Halladay's night was flawless from start to finish, our next moment was absolute chaos from the first pitch to the last. 2 100-win teams, both stacked with stars. From the start, this Fall Classic had drama. Game 2 in Los Angeles. Dodgers lead late, 3 outs from taking a 2-0 series lead, and Marwin Gonzalez ties it with a homer to left center. The Astros steal the game in extras, and suddenly, the series feels different. Game 5 in Houston, lead changes every inning, 8 home runs combined, tension that never lets up. The final score, 13-12 Astros in 10 innings. It's the kind of game where every pitch feels like the turning point. By the end, Houston was celebrating their first title, and fans knew they'd just witnessed one of the most thrilling World Series ever played. And while that series went the distance, our next moment ended with one unforgettable swing. Game 6, Toronto leading the series 3-2, but trailing 6-5 in the 9th. 2 on, 1 out, Joe Carter at the plate. The crowd is standing, everyone knowing this is the moment. Carter swings, drives it deep to left, and the crowd's roar builds with every foot the ball travels. Walk-off to win the World Series. It had only happened once before in MLB history, and hasn't happened since. But while Carter's homer ended a championship, the next game on our list kept one alive in the most dramatic way unimaginable. Game 6 in St. Louis. The Rangers are one strike away from their first championship in the 9th, and David Freese triples to tie it. The stadium erupts. In the 10th, Josh Hamilton blasts a 2-run homer for Texas, and it feels like the champagne is ready to be popped. But Lance Berkman delivers a game-tying single with 2 outs, pulling the Cards back from the brink again. In the 11th, Freese steps in once more. This time, he sends one to dead center, over the wall. One of the clutchest players in postseason history, walk-off and forced Game 7, and eventually another Cardinals championship. It's the kind of game you remember exactly where you were when you saw it. The year before, Aaron Boone had crushed Boston's dreams with a Game 7 walk-off. In 2004, the Yankees jumped out to a 3-0 series lead in the ALCS. Boston's season looked over. Game 4, Dave Roberts steals second in the 9th. Ortiz drives him in. Sox win in extras. Game 5, another marathon, 14 innings. Sox win again. Game 6, Kurt Schilling, bloody sock and all, guts through to force a Game 7. In Yankee Stadium, the Sox completed the greatest comeback in MLB history. They rode that momentum to a World Series sweep over the Cardinals, ending the 86-year curse of the Bambino. From heartbreak to glory in one October. And the cherry on the top, a 108-year championship drought. The 2016's Cubs season was magical, but against the Cleveland Indians, they were in serious trouble. Cubs down 3-1 in the series. They rally to force Game 7. Chicago leads late, but in the 8th, Rajai Davis stuns the world with a game-tying homer off Aroldis Chapman. The game pauses for a rain delay before extras, a moment the Cubs later said gave them time to regroup. In the 10th, they scored twice. Cleveland fights back for one, but it's not enough. Final out, ball game, curse broken. Wrigleyville turns into the biggest street party baseball has ever seen. Generations of fans finally see their team on top, and baseball's longest drought is history.